for her, but I'll share it. Yeah, because different people have different understandings, and that's what I find perhaps the most interesting about life. We all have these different understandings, and I told the sister, I said, what I'm happy for is that you, from a distance, I told her because she hadn't bathed and I didn't want to get too close, but at least you're in Islam, and if you stay there, eventually come around. That's been my experience. No matter what the situation is, like most people will agree when we came to this facility from 4th Street, this room, that room was our crying room, that window would be open. I remember when the brothers worked that out and built that, and we were actually going upstairs over there was be used now for the treasurer's office, and next to it was classroom. I mean, we had guests. Then downstairs there were people there, and the cars were parked all out here, all out in the. And Imam Wali, as you know yourself, we've been going in and out of these prisons for almost 50 years. And I tell the brothers, these masters in Little Rock and Memphis, it should be packed. It should be packed. But that's bringing me to what the subject was Friday. The subject was the test, that God tests us. And no matter what the situation is, we thank Him for letting us be believers. You can't buy it. You can't go to a store and say, I want to buy a believer. Can't do it. I want somebody that will be partial to this line. It won't happen. So that's where we will start with this conversation on test. This is Surah. If you have your Quran, this is Surah. We're going to start with Surah 3. Surah 3 and the verses 186. Three, 186. And somebody has your microphone. Want to read that?
Bismillah. Surah 186. Ye shall certainly be tried and tested in your possessions and in your personal sales, and ye shall certainly hear much that will grieve you from those who received the book before you and from those who worship many gods. But if ye persevere patiently and guard against evil, then that will be the determining factor in all affairs.
Now, you know, the thing that I appreciate very much hearing different thoughts on different subjects, and this is one of them that is my favorite. You're going to be testing your wealth and your possessions. It says, and in your own selves. And then you're going to hear, it says, let tusma'una min alladina utu kitaba min qablikum wa min alladina ashrakum. You're going to be tested in your wealth and yourselves. And you're gonna hear things from people that gonna be heartbreaking. This is me adding to that. It'll hurt you. It'll hurt you because one of the reasons I think that it hurt is because I was so naive when I came to this religion. When I came years ago now, almost 50 years now, and I thought by now everybody in Memphis in the United States would be Muslim. I thought that. I lost my witness. I would be lying if I said anything different. I was so sure that people would hear this and just embrace it. That's how gung-ho I was. I actually believed it. And sometimes when I'm talking to Imam Wali, this is why I always mention you, because I find we had the similar spirit. Like I think you told me you was trying to fast 30 straight days. Was that correct? Did I tell
I didn't know make it past 4 or 5 days.
But the intent was.
Extreme thing, man.
Yeah.
Trying to make 30 days.
Sometimes we extreme, don't we? Sometimes. I believe like that. I went back and told my pastor, I said, you just need to come on Florida Street and bring Olive Grove Missionary Baptist Church with you. It makes fun of you calling the devil. And I said amen and didn't know it was me. We just have different understanding. You know what I'm saying? But test stuff. And you're going to hear things that it says from those who have made partners with Allah. But be what? Be patient. Because if you're patient, that's going to be the deciding factor. It's not going to be, it's like, this is me in this verse. So anybody who like to comment, please comment. My wife and I sit down yesterday. She told me something about myself. And she said, you always have to be able to forgive. Yes, ma'am. She said, if it wasn't, I wouldn't be married to you. And I started to push off that couch. I said, girl, are you serious? But you're going to be tested. That was the point. I saw all that in this. Because you have to be patient. You really have to be patient. And because it says, that took the womb. The root of that word is balawa. That's the very first word there. And then in another verse, as we go on, you're going to see fitna. And as Imam Muhammad said, don't you get fit? Because we're going to give you a fit. But this is balawa. This is where God said He's going to test you. Fitna, they use it like someone is being maybe oppressed. And actually, looking in the dictionary, it uses that word, oppression, out of fitna. This one is like being tested in terms of bringing out something, your potential perhaps, that God is going to test the person. Like a school teacher would teach. They're teaching and they're testing the children for that. Yes, sir.
I just want to add one.
Please get that microphone. Thank you, Brother Sevilla.
I just want to add one thing to show that Allah is very serious.
Yes, sir.
You see what it says that what you just said in that too? No. Well, you have the lamb with the adder and the noon on the end with the shadow over it. That's a sign that this is for real.
Wow.
Imam Sadiq's book in his lesson, but he wasn't the only one. So there's a couple more, some more that were married. That's one of the signs that they tell us that when you see that, this is serious. That's a sign to let you know this is for real.
The first word,
you see the lamb with the aleph over it. Yeah. And you see the noon at the end with the shaka over it. That's a sign that you know that this is for real. This is just like you see that there are other signs that they said, that the grammarians say that it's, when you see these signs on these words, this is serious. This ain't no joke. In other words, like all the scholars, most of them, the grammarians, they translate, they say, ye shall certainly be tried.
Certain.
Yeah, that's a sign to let you know that this
Yes.
is real. That this ain't no joke. It's gonna happen. The
Does
test is
everybody see
gonna
where he's at?
happen.
The very first word.
Yeah.
The third word.
And if you're looking at the root of the word is the beef, the bath,
Mhm.
the lamb next to it, and the wow.
Mhm.
That's the root of the word. And for those of us, if you like, if I see, but usually you got your phone out, right? For the Sharif, I mean, you got your phone out. Okay. You probably have this. Those of you who have your phone, you can go to your phone and go on to Google and Google just about. If you have your phone, get with myself. I'm saying, Brother Sharif, you on that now? And you pull this up, and it helps educate you. Especially, I mean, you brothers that are doing the Arabic class with Imam Sharif, I mean, you can't have a better teacher than Imam Sharif. And if you want to step up your program, do a little homework on your own, and you do that, and you will find yourself even better equipped. Yes, Imam, say it on that microphone.
Hit the mic. Corpus Quran, C-O-R-P-U-S, Quran, word by word.
Imam Yahya, Imam Nasir, that's what they use. They use that. And it'll even help you with what Brother Jamil said. Like you have this line in the front of this, the lamp, that intensifies it. And as Jamil just said, in the noon with the shadow, because shadow does what in Arabic? Intensify. That's what it does.
Also, the term says emphatic, which means definitely.
Yes.
When you break the word down by the root.
And that tells you why we get, like Jamil just said, why I say, and certainly you're going to be what?
Yes.
You're going to be tested. You're not going to be left alone and say what? I believe. It ain't going to happen like that. And then the Quran goes in, as you all know, it outlines what it is that you all a what? Believer. It tells you who these people are, how you should act, what you should do, how you should pray. Stay away from vain talk. Most of the time I think the sisters, y'all stay away from it. Brothers, we do too. But every now and then you'll get some of us preachers and we start bragging on how good we are. Not in Islam now. I rarely see that in Islam. But some of them preachers, they preach how good. And Allah says, stay away from vain, glorious stuff. Well, you trying to make like you the big shot. I mentioned Friday, right? The Bible says, I don't have this in front of me, somebody probably could find it fast and I can. The Bible says, render unto Caesar. Now I don't have it in front of me, but I know it kind of by heart. Render unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar. And then give unto the Lord. I hope I got that right. If somebody find it, correct me, okay. And then give unto the Lord. Then you read in the Quran, Allah said, look, everything belongs to him. They don't render unto Caesar. And they use a lot of that to keep people enslaved. You know what you said say something?
I'm going to share an experience that's kind of tied to this verse 186.
Yes, sir.
I was about 28 years old, and
I was in a situation where I wasn't, with my family, right? And I was supposed to be able to reach out to them. But I had, I was blessed to be able to use a phone.
Okay.
And I used the phone, and when I called my dealer. When I called her, she was, I'll say, sad, because somebody had just broke into the house. They just broke, and she was saying some of the things that they had taken, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I know that was kind of weighing on her, and I wasn't in a position to remedy that situation. But this ayat was in my mind. And I was asking her, did she have some insurance? You know, because you can lose some things, right?
Yeah.
But Allah says, He said, not many variations in this. Said you be patient and persevere. You know, this word for sabr also means to be deliberate, forward thinking, and etc. You know, not just patient twiddling your thumb.
Yeah.
To be deliberate about your future actions. So I asked her, I said, you got insurance? She said, yeah. Then don't worry about it. Just make sure you include in your report everything that you lost.
You can't see Sister Nigeria, I can see it. He's doing this probably, man. That's Sister Nigeria. The beautiful thing about marriage is that one of the beautiful things, nobody knows you like your wife. Nobody. I don't even think my mama knew me like Constance. See, amen, brother, man. I'm saying that. That's what I'm saying.
I thought it was connected.
It was. To me, it is. Because to me, I don't know if this is how you meant it, but a man is going to feel a sense of obligation to his family. He gonna do that. I remember the first day I got married, and I stopped at McDonald's to get a burger. And my mind said you need to get two. But before I just get one Big Mac. Yeah. I don't know if that's real, but that's how you mind, yeah. I know it. So you feel, I'm assuming this is how you felt. You felt, what can I do? I don't know how to get around there in this situation. Anyway, I don't want to keep going on that. But let's go to the next one, if it's okay. Anybody else want to make a comment on that? Surah 29. And Surah 29 and the verse is 2. So whoever gets it, would you please read that?
Ayat 2, Surah 29. Do men think that they will be left alone on saying, we believe, and that they will not be tested?
See, the very last word that they translate this time is tested. So you can I can ask Jamil if he'll come here for a second. Jamil, if you got it. But see where it says, do you think? I'm going to ask your expertise again, Brother Jamil. That Alex that's in front of this, do you think? That's a thing. That Alex is saying what? Huh?
That's a question.
Yeah, that's a question.
I see that, oh, that's it.
Yeah.
That's everywhere.
I'm getting along. That's how they're getting, that's how the translator is getting, do you think? Because that Alex is asking a question in front there. That's all. Do you think, and then if you had the dictionary, and some of y'all probably have it, if you had that dictionary, you can read in there, it's gonna say, call to account. So that's the same word. So do you think you will not be called to account? We could have added that. That you're gonna be called to account. Who? Nasu, people. Do you think you will be left or leave like this word says, Yudreku, like to leave somebody alone? You think you're gonna be left alone and just say that? That ain't gonna happen. You're not gonna be left alone and say you believe and not be tested. If you say you believe, be prepared, brothers, sisters. I mean, y'all already know this. I'm really talking to the choir, but I also know this goes into a DVD, and the people will be listening. And it says here, Yakulu. That's a plural way of saying they say, like we say, Kulu. Kulu, I had the Kulu. Say, this is Yakulu, this is, and they say, Amanat, we believe. People say that. But do they think that's gonna happen without like you say, la ilaha illallah? La ilaha illallah? No God but God. That's the negative in front of it, right? Do you think you're gonna be able to say that and then not be tested? And Imam Muhammad said, it's not that Allah don't already know us. The test is so that who will know who? You know yourself. Because a lot of times you don't know yourself until the test comes. Unless, in my case, your wife tell you. But I think that might be why she's there too. Tell you something about yourself. Imam, I'm a little off the subject, but I'm still on the subject, I hope. Imam said, when we would say the black man is God, he said, you never had to tell the woman that. Yeah, how do you? And somebody asked, why don't you think they didn't tell us? He said, they just having mercy. They just being kind. I hate to hurt his feelings, but man, you ain't no God.
I saw it.
What am I saying?
This ayat is interesting because sometimes people appear to think that because if they see somebody being tested, if they are not being tested, that they are the better person. Interesting. I had that conversation with an ex-coworker, and it's like, oh, this you always have this, and I said, you got a day coming. You might not know when it is, but everybody got a day. So, sometimes I think that, your trials and your tribulations and whatever Allah has for you is for you. However, that does not leave out everybody else. Everybody else. And I think sometimes people think that because they didn't have to go, because interesting enough, the coworker had not had, I guess we had worked there for 20-some years and had several deaths in the family. And she's like, oh, people always die in your family. So I'm telling you two things I believe. And the second thing is that the bigger the family, more deaths you're going to have. That's just a given. And she had not had anybody in all those years to pass. She had somebody to pass right before I retired, and she called to tell me she had a brother to pass. And I said, I told you the day was coming. So you don't know, because he wasn't sick. That's not the point, whether he was sick. His time was up. He had a time when he came. So his time just came when it was supposed to come. But the conversation we had was that I said, we cannot assume that because we don't feel like we are being tested. The test is that you don't even know you're being tested.
That's the test. Sister Charmaine, look, not so much you, but anytime, if this is just my mind, and I hope I have grown to this and haven't gone off. Anytime you're faced with a situation that pulls you away from your religion, you're being tested.
Alhamdulillah.
That pulls you away from your good senses. If you know that you're supposed to behave, I'm saying. As a man, I can't speak as a woman, but I'm just speaking as a man. It is telling you to go to something else. You've been tested. Because if you look at we on 29:2, right? Somebody please read 29:3, the next verse. Who see it? Anybody? I see. Oh, okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We did test those before them, and Allah will certainly know those who are true from those who are false.
Right. Now, Imam said it's going to sound like in English, right? He's talking, this is Allah saying he will know. But what he's saying is he's going to manifest. He already knows. God already knows. He knows Muhammad Ameen's weaknesses and yours too. I'm just using me as a name, but he already knows this. He knows where we are.
That's all right.
But
So when you have, if you think about it, all of the prophets were tested with something. So let's just talk about those who Allah chose. They were tested. So much so that in that is an example for us that if those who Allah chose as his prophets and messengers were tested, do you think you can say you believe in not be tested?
you think you're going to be left alone and say you believe in not be tested? And what's so beautiful about Islam, it answers every question. When something happens, I was talking to my daughter this morning, we talk often. And, you know, most of you all know, Khadija was going through some things with her baby. And I said, sweetheart, it's a test. It's a test. God is going to, I can't answer because she think her daddy know a lot. I be wondering, I don't know what you think, but I know this much. If Allah tests you, he's also going to strengthen you. I know that. I'm not guessing that. Go, Brother Man, please go ahead. Yeah. Get that mic if you don't mind.
I believe this now that sometimes when, and I'm sure this comes from somebody else's thought and not mine, but sometimes the thing that we see as a hurt on the person is not a hurt on the person like we see. We think that's a big test and a big hurt on that person. But the real test is on the one who might be observing what the test is to see how they're going to respond to the test that somebody else might be experiencing.
As-Salaamu.
Alaikum.
On the same note that Brother Imam maybe mentioned, kind of remind me of a conversation that I was having with one of my sisters, my oldest sister. And she was feeling like that, you know, she was getting all these monies and all this stuff from other people's helping her and things like that. And she was under the impression that she was so blessed by God. And so I kind of shared with her. I said, now I'm going to share something with you. And, you know, and it's kind of reminded me of discussing here. I said, when God bless you, he tests you, right? As because when you truly look at it, what have we really done to make us so worthy of the blessings of Allah, right? So and I said, every blessing is a testament, you know. I said, that test is for you. It's how you internalize that, how you see it, because all it is but a test. So,
Something like I just want to add to the comment of the test that in every test there's the mercy of Allah. So the test is faith. If the faith is strong, the test is not faith, it's not a entry way into hell. Because in that test, we all gonna find mercy, pursue the mercy of Allah. So don't think your test is a means for you to be defeated and withdraw from the masjid and withdraw from donating and withdraw from trying to be the best Muslim. You got to embrace it all.
Saeed, I heard, just 1 second, I heard a brother say, he didn't come to the masjid because he didn't feel himself worthy no more. And I think that's what came to my mind when you said that. You know? Yes, sir.
As-Salaamu. I'll try to be concise because a lot of things went through my mind as I was walking through the door and heard everybody's comments. But so it is good to be around the believers, people, but especially if you are experiencing something that you as an individual consider a test. And you're like, am I failing? Like, because the believers will remind you, you hear a kuffar, somebody give you the greed and say something to you, like, nah, you good, then say something, and it will remind you, because for me personally, like, you will get consumed with what the test is, and then you get the lesson in the test, and then, like Brother Saeed just said, you will forget the mercy in the test, but if you're around with believers, it will remind you. Because me personally, like, I had forgotten that people way more intelligent, humble, faithful to me were tested, like, and tested way harder than what I think that I'm dealing with. Like, it's real, like, it hurts. It's like, man, like, what? Like, lose my brother and my wife, like, no, that's like, no, and the same thing, that's a lot of stuff. That's like, no, like, am I that bad of a person? Like, I know I should be shot out, but am I that bad? Like, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot. And so, but then you were like, Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu, like, he was tested. He was like, he's the model example for all of us. So people were like, you know, all kind of stuff to him. So who are you not in? Like, you just little ant. Who are you not to be tested? Like you said, Allah says that you gonna be tested.
Yeah.
And you just ain't say, I go to Manchester, I go to 44 South 12, 4412 South 3rd, and cool, I'm good. Like, I believe. No, we gonna really see if you believe or not. Yeah. And I get whoever that person that you spoke to or talked about. Like, sometimes you be like, man, I'm not worried to be around the couple that believe. But it's like Satan playing with your mind. Yeah. Like, it's like, it's a trick. Because really, that's where you're supposed to be, even when you're not feeling yourself, even when you're not feeling your best. Like, man, this is crazy. But when you get over yourself, and it's hard, you know, it's hard, especially in the marriage, as much as I am. You like, you're like, man, why me? But it's like, why not you? You say you're a believer, he's gonna test you. If you don't know how the test is gonna be. So see the mercy. So even in all the things, if you like humble yourself and look back at it, you can see a lot of mercy. Even the thing that you think is a terrible thing, even the thing that really hurts you, even the thing that keeps you up at night, you can't sleep, you crying, like, if you really reflect on it, you can see a lot of mercy in it still, and it still hurt. But you say, alhamdulillah, Allah got me. So he ain't bringing this all to me. I don't know how it's gonna end. I don't want to fail the test. I'm gonna make an A+, but I don't want to fail. So if I keep my faith in Allah, he got it. Because he ain't bringing this all to me. So, alhamdulillah.
That's right. Yes, sir. Yeah. Because I think Imam Wali again, sometimes it tends to address it to others. And it looked like one way, Imam said he saw this brother, I don't know where he saw on TV or something, Imam W. Muhammad, up on him, the peace in paradise. And he said, this person didn't have no legs, no arms, no nothing like that. But the person was all right. He was all right. And from his looking at the person, he gathered strength. He gathered strength. You know? Right. Right.
We don't need y'all to use that mic. Anyway.
We can't.
Father had 17. My sister turned 18. My brother comes back. And so I said, this is Christian. There's people in my you think God cursing the Holmes family? I said, why would you say that? Y'all had 3 deaths, you know. I mean, I never heard that. So many deaths in a row. I don't know. They was comes in 3. You ever heard that? All my life. So what came to my mind was this right here. I'll tell you what I told her. I said, who is it that's on this earth can get away without dying? There's nobody. You can't escape this. You can't look at it and say, oh, I'm being treated unfair. God took my mother. Everybody got a mother gonna be taken. Everybody got a father gonna be taken. Everybody got an uncle, a brother, a sister. Whatever you can name, it's not, you don't have to worry, it ain't gonna be no discrimination. Everybody got to go this way. That's the way it is. As much as we love each other here. But think about the people that were with us and not here no more. There were so many of them. I think about sisters like Kia, Brother Mustafa, it's hard, man. It's what? Say what?
No,
I can't hear.
No, I will say that I'm from home. But you know, you said you lost 3 people in 4 months, and that's why my coworker was like, I said, girl, the same thing you said is what we got. Who gets to stay forever and ever, even is an accomplishment to life. One don't have without the other. But we get messed up if somebody gets ready to design before we step a breath of life on this earth. It's already, you know, so how we accept it is a law. If we accept the same thing like it's a law still is my rock. Regardless of what happens.
Regardless,
You know, we have got to have that. And I'm talking about you got Muslims, Christians, don't have the same understanding about death and life. They don't have the same, everybody doesn't have the same understanding. Because we feel like nobody knows to leave. And you don't know in the next breath, one of us could be going, we doing janazah on somebody. No. So we have to quit taking so much for granted in this life as though we're not.
So, you hear people say it all the time. But, you know, I think somewhere I read that Allah said, wherever, when your time comes, you're going to be at that. So this is something we can't run from, right? We know this is death, you know. And this is something that we have to prepare ourselves for. Inshallah.
you have to get that microphone so it goes
She said, y'all don't do the law. Don't mess with your law. Everybody did like them. Go. It don't get that easy when you be ready. You land in them hospitals and you think, and the doctor come in and say, you know you died. You be saying, no, I ain't really died. He said, no, you dead. I had this happen 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I fell out in Chattanooga. And I fell out on a Wednesday. And when I woke up, the brother was giving me my phone. I said, what day is it? He said, I said, Saturday. I didn't sleep all that time. He said, we were coming here to make sure they weren't stealing your orders. You gotta say it was a joke. But the thing was, I don't remember nothing from that day to that day. But when I first time they announced me dead, I remember everything. I remember dreaming. And I remember going on the other side. I seen Frank man, I seen Sue, I seen a lot of folks I know. And I seen my sister. She said, come give me a hug. And I opened her hug. Something said, get out of here, you ain't gonna be here. I took off running like Forrest Gump. Look. And when I made it back to the other side, I was paralyzed. And I couldn't talk. And I realized that ain't the way I wanted to go, you know. But I remember leaving when I was running in my dreams, in my mind. I told my sister, stop coming for me. Come for my brother. And a few months later, my brother was dead. And when he died, I said to somebody, the day before he died, I knew he was going to die. Because I remember what I said. And he died right behind it. He made a joke. He said, now you ain't have no children, so I had one for you. And he named the baby after me. And he died the next day. And he was healthy. I think about the people up there in Newport, Tennessee. 200 people died on the hurricane, 200 missing, and most of them were more healthy than most of them. So, you know, but I wouldn't go to none of their folks and say, you know, anybody got to go. Because a person might get violent if you say that. You know, you got to be careful what you say to folks. Because we don't, Aisha pointed out, the As-Salaamu, everybody dislike them, you know.
Thank you, brother. Yes, sir.
Well, I ran across something your sister said that I was really out here to say something. Faith must be tested in the conflict of practical life. You know, so your faith got to be tested. You know, that's what it said in the book. But good can never be submerged. On the contrary, Allah washes all things from those who strive and admit themselves to the fellowship of righteousness. But I read the Quran all the time, and Allah said He created life and death, and life and death is in His hand. So, you know, like you said, we just have to learn how to not fear death, because we ain't never been taught that the way we come up. You know, we were taught something other. We ain't never been taught about death. You know, but the devil gonna get you, that's it. But now we got to learn how to prepare ourselves for death. When I read in the Hadith, he asked the Prophet, what about death? He said, well, have you prepared for it? He said, nothing except prayer. So sometimes that's all we got when death comes to us. It's just our prayer. Some of them might not even have showing. You know, that's why they bury a lot of people. You know, some may not have insurance and, you know, none of that stuff. Some may say we prepared for it, they're not accepted, but for making these all different arrangements so your kids have the money when you're gone and setting up something for them, we haven't did that part of it. But anyway, so the law became and truly to Allah gonna be our return.
I mean, As-Salaamu Alaikum. I'm gonna say this right here. This is a public service announcement while we on the topic. Make sure you pay your $100 for your Islamic burial a kid. To last year, I'm looking at $100 per person. They take care of your wrap and all of those things in the event. No, not in the event. When you return to your. I mean.
Yeah, go ahead, man. No, go ahead.
One of Allah's attributes is the most compassionate. So we all remember that. We know that. And so we have to remind ourselves. And then we have Muhammad the Prophet made praise, peace be upon him. He's a model example. So to camelback on what Abu Jahal was saying, when we offer prayers and condolences as Muslims, believers, that's our opportunity to do all. So all you have to say then is, I'm gonna be praying for you and your family. You don't have to try to give them your understanding. I'm not saying that you will do that already, but I'm just saying we here sitting in this room, like we understand what the logic is. And when someone asks us, we lose our brother, our grandmother, our mother, our father, how we doing, we say, we try to remind ourselves to help remind them as a form of dua. Alhamdulillah, we understand that even in my own sorrow, from losing my brother, that this was going to happen. We didn't know the date or the time, and so it hurts in that moment, but what we can't do is stay in that moment 10 months from now, 10 years from now, if we truly believe. So that's our opportunity to, when someone asks us how we doing, when we lose someone close to us, to give them a little bit of Imam Muhammad, give them a little bit of the Prophet, give them a little bit of Quran. Say, we understand that this had to happen. We didn't know it was going to happen like this, right? But we understand, we heard what we love. Our loved one, but we love a lot more, and then it will a lot. That's our opportunity. But when somebody else, you don't take the opportunity when somebody else's death happens to them, you don't take the opportunity to have all the knowledge and be a big shake. It's like, oh, let me tell you what I know, what I believe. No, because that's not the spirit of Imam Muhammad, that's not the spirit of the Prophet, that's not the spirit of the Quran. So we have to use that compassion.
Yes, before we close out, because I'm kind of got away, but we enjoying this so much. The nature of how we discuss with each other, right? The Quran says, you all know, it says, speak not of my servant is dead. But not dead, but you perceive it not. And then when you look up the word, it's like it's not clear to you where they have gone. So I'm saying that out of you just echoing off of what you said, you know? Like you saw, I don't know what you saw, but I'm gonna tell you what my father said before he passed. I'm in the room with him. He didn't know I was in the room. He said, Bernice, that's my mother. He said, he said, hell, that's his brother. Everybody he called on four people, and my sister-in-law, Renee, we were in there together. And we both heard it. He said, what y'all doing? He said, don't worry, I'll be back. He passed the next day. Now, I don't know, as I said, you perceive it now. It seems like this is the end of it. But it might, like, I think he said he saw Frank Ockman, you know? And the book says, the Quran says, speak not of them, and they're not really dead, but you perceive it not. And our understanding of what's really death, if I'm understanding right, not to get too deep, the real death is the death of the heart and the intellect and the understanding of God. And I think that's why, so I believe, I told my wife again, I think that's why they got the movies, The Walking Dead. Matter of fact, I think so. And this one that I saw, I don't watch them, but it scanned the TV. Sometimes you see it. This one said, Fear the Walking Dead. And I said to myself, my mind said, I wasn't trying to think that way. I said, you still got to be right. Because the Walking Dead, they don't care who they come up on. If you follow what I'm saying, and who's really dead and who's really alive, and people that are dead, you can't really address them as live. Although they're physically here, they're not spiritually and mentally alive. They are dead as humans. I hope I'm saying that.
Yeah.
They're dead, but it's not perceived of it. So for me, every morning when I pray, I ask Allah, let me be among the righteous. Resurrect me with the good people. And if I happen to go before any of you all, I'm way off now, no. But I hope you all will pray for me. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go before me, I will pray for you. And Allah will forgive you for your shortcomings and grant you paradise. And, you know, because if you looking at a situation, you can always find the bad. I mean, honestly, at that conference, he hate for me to mention her name on this roster. But that's what you do. If you're married, you can find the bad. I can look at her and see what, because I told her, I said, you can't see no wrong in me. I see a lot of wrong in you. I think she wanted to shout. She said, oh, Lord, have mercy. Bro. And I said, what are you talking? What have I done so bad? She said, I don't even start now, because I don't mean you are. I was joking. I wasn't serious. I got 1,000 faults, you know. But we are a family struggling, as you said, man, to be, you know, we're not looking at the wrong. And like Saeed said, I told the brother, you know the brother, he said, man, I would come. I said, man, Imam one is excellent. I said, one of our best emails. All of them good. I said, he's one of our best. You just absolutely, I just don't feel right no more. I said, but there ain't nobody here holy. Ain't no holy people. I know that ain't how I feel. None of you all either. Because I know most of everybody here, nobody thinking themselves that way. So give it a listen. Unless somebody want to make a comment and I went longer than I thought. Anybody want to make a comment? If not, then we will close with Al-Fatiha in unison, please. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim. غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Takbir.
As-Salaamu. Let me make a few announcements here. Don't forget on Saturday there's a wedding here at the masjid at 3 p.m. Brother Sabir and Monisha will be getting married. I guess it's officiated by Imam Shabi. Also, we have the Guinean the Independence Day, which is on the 19th at Tomley Park at from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. So if you can find it in the time, sometime during the day to go out and help them with the celebration, please do so. We were given an invitation from the President Abdul Bah, and he is requesting members of Master number to attend, inshallah. So don't forget, we wanted to say thank you and kudos to everybody who participated in the Another Man's Treasure yard sale yesterday. Good camaraderie. It was real good. We had good neighbors from the hood and from everywhere else that came by to see us. So we thank you. And we thank everybody who assisted anyway to help make it happen. We thank you on behalf of Community Affairs members. So thank you so much. There's not another event that we have scheduled so far. Don't forget, allow food pantry at the end of the month. Hold on. We got the Brothers Brunch, and we want to do what we can to community brunch sponsored by the brothers. Let me put it like that. So it is on Sunday, next Sunday, inshallah, from 11 to 12:30. And if you need to talk to anybody seeing in the chef that cook, but we want to support the effort, inshallah, because they started doing this a couple of months ago, and it's yeah, let me make this announcement right here. This on my telling. If you have a recommendation for the board of directors, Do not approach the board members to tell them. Fill out the form, put it in the pyramid. That's what it's for, and that's what all those rules are for that I sent out to you all. You don't have to come to a board member. You need to fill out that form and put it in the pyramid. Thank you so much. Don't forget, November 3rd, first Sunday in November, will be voting for ratification. And then the following month, that first Sunday, we'll be voting for a board of directors. If you have a nomination, please put it on the form. The form's in the foyer. The pyramid is too. As-Salaamu. Oh, early voting. Early voting is from October the 16th to the 31st. If you have not registered to vote, tomorrow is the very last day to register to vote. In the city of Memphis, state Tennessee. Tomorrow is the very last day to register to vote in order to be counted to be able to vote for the presidential election this year, which is November the 5th, inshallah. So please go out and exercise your right to vote. As-Salaamu Alaikum.
Yeah, we got, in the classroom across the hall, we got 10 tables that belong to Hicks. I'm gonna try to put them back into my, truck, so I need everybody to come on and just help get them back in there. They're real heavy, so, give me, just give me your two. If each one of us get a table, we can do it in like 5 minutes.
It's gonna take 2 people per table. Let's keep it 100.
2 people get 1 table.
2 people per table.
2 people get 2 people per table.
And for 1 person here under 50.
Right.
2 people.
Right.
2
Right.
people per
And I'm
table.
almost 50.
I know.
It's all right. Yeah, 2 people per table.
We need a little help.
We got you.
I know it seems like we're important now, so
No, it's important. You can't put it right yourself. Get up.